It's the summer of 1348, and London has no idea it's living through its last ordinary day. In a matter of months, roughly half the people in this city will be gone. But right now, at dawn, the Thames looks almost beautiful. The river glitters under a pale sky. Barges slide through the fog. Oars slap the water in a steady rhythm. Bells begin to ring from church towers scattered across the skyline. St. Mary Le Bow, All Hallows, St. Bride's, each one marking the morning as if the future doesn't exist. The air is thick with the smell of wood smoke, horse sweat, and river mud. You're standing at Billingsgate Wharf, watching ships unload like they do every day. Wool bales swing on creaking cranes. Barrels thump onto planks. Foreign merchants, Italian, Flemish, French, argue with English dock workers who don't share a language but understand money perfectly well. Across the channel, people are already dying in ways that sound unreal. Swellings in the groin, fingers turning dark. Death arriving in 2 or 3 days. But London hasn't met it yet. Most people treat it like sailors' exaggerations, war talk, or God's anger aimed at someone else. Plagues are distant problems. London is London. It has walls, wealth, priests, and markets. It feels permanent. Today we're walking through that confidence, through a city that thinks tomorrow will look like yesterday, so we can see what everyday life looks like right before everything changes. London in 1348 holds around 50,000 people, squeezed within old Roman walls and spilling over the river into Southwark. It's a timber city, narrow houses, upper floors leaning out over muddy streets, alleys so tight you could nearly touch both sides at once. Above it all rises the massive silhouette of St. Paul's, its spire dominating the skyline like a spear pointed at heaven. England is deep in the Hundred Years' War. Edward III's campaigns cost fortunes, and that means taxes on almost everything. London's money flows through wool exports and imported wine. Trade keeps the city alive, but it also creates tension. Prices climb while wages crawl. Overcrowding makes daily danger feel normal. Fire, sickness, crime, accidents in the street. And now, there are rumors from the continent. A pestilence moving through Italy and France, emptying ports, filling mass graves, shutting down entire towns. Ships arrive with stories. Most Londoners shrug them off. Disaster happens elsewhere. Here, life continues. The day begins at the docks, and it starts loud. Before the sun is fully up, Billingsgate is already a storm of shouting. You hear French, Flemish, and German mixed with English curses. Stevedores drag grain sacks across slick boards. A crane groans as it lifts barrels of wine. The wharf is wet with fish guts and river spray. One slip and you're in the Thames, and in a city like this, a fall can easily become a death if you can't swim or if the tide decides to take you. This is where London earns its power. Wool leaves the city, wine, cloth, spices, and luxury goods arrive. Foreign bankers and merchants, especially Italians, finance the king's war with loans that will haunt England for decades. A laborer hauling cargo earns 2 or 3 pence a day. It's enough for coarse bread, a little ale, and a shared bed somewhere crowded. It is not enough to save. Breakfast comes from a dockside vendor. Rough bread and small ale for half a penny. Eaten standing up, swallowed quickly, then back to work. This is also where thieves thrive. A busy dock is an honest worker's paradise and a criminal's playground. Guild officials and city enforcers watch for illegal trade, untaxed goods, stolen cargo. Get caught, and you might be fined, beaten, or put in the stocks for everyone to see. A ship from Calais ties up at the pier. A sailor, pale and talkative, tells anyone willing to listen about sickness in France, how you can be healthy at breakfast and dead by supper, how black marks spread across bodies, how streets empty overnight. Most people barely react. Sailors always have stories. The city has heard rumors before. The market at Cheapside is waking up now, and that's where the real crowd is. So we leave the river and move inland. By mid-morning, Cheapside is packed. Stalls line the street, and overhead hang painted signs instead of written names. A boot for the cobbler, a loaf for the baker, a key for the locksmith. Because most people can't read, but everyone understands pictures. The buildings lean so far over the street that upper floors almost meet, turning daylight into a dim tunnel and trapping smells below. Sweat, smoke, animal waste, spilled ale. A baker's wife haggles with a seller over price. Everything costs more than it did. War demand, bad harvests, greedy middlemen. She complains, but she still pays because families must eat. A chicken might cost a penny. Salted fish is cheaper than fresh. Bread is life, and that's why stealing it is treated like a threat, not a minor crime. Near the stocks, constables drag a thief through the crowd. He's thin, desperate, probably hungry. He stole bread. By noon, he'll be locked in wood with his head and hands trapped for anyone to mock. Rotten fruit, mud, insults, stones. Public punishment is meant to teach the whole city a lesson. Fire is another constant fear. Buckets hang ready at corners because London has burned before, and timber and thatch don't forgive mistakes. A town crier pushes through, ringing a bell and shouting the latest news. New taxes for the war in France? The crowd grumbles. Faces tighten. People look at each other the way crowds do when they're deciding whether anger will stay quiet or turn into something worse. Today, it stays quiet. Not yet,